I'm sitting in the back, speeches are done, and now they're doing something called table topics. The table topic master came up, and one by one, people came to the stage, and he asked them a question. And throughout the entire time, I had one question in my mind. Where is the table? At the end, the table topic master asked any guest who'd like to participate. Now, I'm sitting in the back. I didn't sleep much the night before, and I was stretching, and he thought I was raising my arm. Yes, sir, please, you. I come to the front of the stage. He asked me a question. I don't even remember what the question was. And I spoke, and I'm not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. I spoke for 12 seconds. And that's it. I start sweating from places in my body. I was like, what the hell? Through the shoes? and I was so ashamed of myself and so embarrassed. Because a lot of people, they don't know this. The very first step of any journey is usually the hardest one. Once you get through that, the rest will be easy. Anybody here remember going to the gym? Anybody? Do you remember the first day? How did you feel after the first day? You're beat, right? Because always, any journey, the first step is always hard. But once you go through that, the rest will be easy. Now, after that embarrassment that happened to me, I had a decision to make. Now, I could come back and keep trying, or I can quit. What do you guys think I should do? Quit or keep trying?
Keep trying.
Louder!
Keep trying.
Sorry, I decided to quit. I told my friend, I'm not going to set a foot in the Toastmasters Club again. I don't know what you guys doing here. But I kept pushing me. I said, dude, just come with me. Like, you don't have to speak. Just sit in the back. Keep your mouth shut. I said, all right. So I came to my next meeting. I'm sitting in the back. And I remember that day, there was a speaker. And I'm sure a lot of you might have experienced that in the Toastmasters Club. The speaker takes the stage, and he gives a fantastic speech, and everybody just laser focused. Everybody just pay attention. There's a pin drop silence in the entire room, including me. I'm looking at and I thought to myself, you know what? This is nice. I want to do this one day. I want to be able to speak and people would listen. So I went to the DBE membership. I said, I would like to join your club. Give me the form, I filled it up, and I joined the club. And when I joined, they assigned me a mentor. And my mentor at the time was this guy called Suleiman bin Malik. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, give him a big round of applause. Whatever he is. Because I put this guy through hell. When I first joined, I was really enthusiastic. So I sent him an email. He said, my mentor, I want to take a role for the next meeting. I'm pumped up. Give me something to do. Anything. And he wrote back, wow, I like your enthusiasm. How about being a Toastmaster today? Now keep in mind, the communication was through emails. He said to me, how about being the TMOD? And I didn't know what that was. But I'm reading the email thinking, huh, T-mode. T-mode, that's a cool name for a rapper, you know? Oh my God, how did they know? Rapping has been an old dream of mine. I got so excited, I started working on my next album, ladies and gentlemen. So the next meeting came, and I did this.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Yeah, T-mode in the house, yo. Shout out to all the Toastmasters out there. I got shot on the stage by a hater. He was a traitor. He wasn't even my evaluator. Suleiman got up and like, whoa, what are you doing? I'm being teamwork, man. Yeah, that's not what this is. And he took over the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, ask. Sometimes people think when they ask for help, when they ask for explanation, when they ask for advice, it makes them sound ignorant. Makes them look like they're idiots. Guess what? Nobody makes it alone. Nobody makes it alone. And don't be ashamed to ask for help when you need someone. Get a coach, get a mentor, get someone who can get you through your journey. Learn from people who've been there before. Don't be afraid or ashamed to ask when you don't know. My first meeting as a Toastmaster, and I screwed it up. And the question popped again. Do I quit or keep trying?
Quit.
I can't hear you. Fine, I'll keep trying. I called them after the meeting. I'm sorry about what happened earlier. Man, don't worry about it. This is Toastmaster. This is we learn from practice. How about for the next meeting, we give you a role that's not so intimidating? How about being the joke master? I asked, what does it do? See? Now I'm asking questions. And he said, just tell a joke, 1 to 2 minutes. Easy peasy. The meeting came, the Toastmasters, they called me, I tell my joke, nobody laughs. And instead, everybody they just drop their jaws. I go sit down. The Toastmaster today comes up. Thank you, Mr. Joke Master. I'd like to remind everybody in the club that we don't speak about sex, politics, or religion. And when you have all the elements in one joke, that's just a bit too much. Know who you're dealing with. I have some of my friends who go and buy the Steve Jobs biography book. And when I asked them why, they said, well, he's a successful person, and we're going to do exactly what Steve did. Guess what? You didn't live the same life as Steve. You didn't go through the same circumstances as Steve. Now, we can learn from Steve, but you can't expect whatever worked for somebody else to work exactly for you. In preparation for this joke, I watched a lot of stand-up comedy online, and I wrote a very terrible joke, but it was for the wrong audience. So different people require a different way of dealing with it. My second meeting as a Toastmaster, and again I screwed up. And the question popped up. Do I quit or keep trying?
Keep trying.
No, keep trying. I crossed him in again. I'm sorry about what happened earlier. Yeah, that was, whew. You know what? How about for the next meeting, we give you a role where you don't have to talk too much.
Timer.
How about being the timer? You explain what the job is, I know what to do, I came up, I set up as a timer. Now, the first speaker was very, very good.
He doesn't make a timer.
His speech was so good, I kept looking at him. And I forgot about the time. And toward the end of the speech, he was looking at me because, he's waiting for me to give the signal. And I'm thinking, my God, this guy has an excellent eye contact. I feel like he's talking to me personally, he has like a personal touch, He kept looking at me and opening his eyes, yes, no. Give me more of that.
One time
I glanced at the watch later, 13 minutes. I think that the green, the yellow, the red, and everything. Never ever lose your focus. In your journey to success, it's easy sometimes to get sidetracked. It's easy to try to do so many things at once, and you end up not excelling at any. And then you wonder, how come I couldn't achieve what I put my mind into? Because you're always just jumping into smaller things that distract you from your goal. Never lose your focus from the prize. Another meeting, another school. I keep trying. Of course, they might again. I'm sorry about what happened earlier. All right, listen. What about for the next meeting, you become the grammarian? And I asked, what does the grammarian do? Well, you watch the grammar of the word and you introduce the word of the day. What's the word of the day? Well, every meeting, we introduce a new word, enrich the vocabulary of everybody. You know what? I got it. My word is Boscodictiosaur. The M is silent, by the way. And he asked, what's that? It's a dinosaur. How are people going to use it? I don't know. I like Bosco. He said, no. You need to use a word that people can actually use. I got you. No. What's the word? Tell me. I want to surprise you. We'll find out in the meeting. The meeting came. Toastmasters, they asked me to introduce my role, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, the word of the day is I. Now, I means I. Let me give you some examples of how to use it. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm sleepy. I encourage you all to use the word today. At the end of the meeting, the Toastmasters, they asked me to present my report. I said, I'm happy to report. Everybody use the word today. In fact, I don't know if you guys noticed, a janitor walked in and said, I'm sorry, he's going to use the word today. Everything in moderation, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take it too hard on yourself, but also don't take it too easy. A lot of people, for example, when they want to lose weight and they go to the gym and they work so hard for like the first 2-3 days and then they stop. Why? Because they just push themselves too hard and they started hating it. On the other side, you cannot just go to the gym and walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes and then wonder, how come I'm not losing any weight? Of course you're not going to lose any weight. Because you take it too easy yourself. Everything in moderation. Don't be too hard on yourself, but also don't take it too easy. Another meeting, another school.
Keep trying.
I keep trying. Of course, I'm going to get, I'm sorry about what happened earlier. All right, listen. For the next meeting, I want you to be the vote counter. Your job is to get votes and count them. That's it. You cannot screw this up. Don't worry, boss. I came to the next meeting. I set up, speeches are done, they cast the votes. I'm counting the votes. Across the table from me sat a beautiful lady. She looked at me and smiled. I guess somebody wants to win the votes. You know, one vote is not going to hurt. Throughout the meeting, every time I look at her, she smiles again. Oh my God. I'm going to give her one more. And by the end, I have given her all the votes. The Toastmasters today asked me to announce the winners, and I said, well, for the best speech, the best speaker is... Jane. And the Toastmasters today said, Jane didn't give a speech today. Realize your weakness. Once you know what your point of weakness, that's when you know how to seek the right coach, or how to seek the right mentor. The person who can fill that gap, who can help you overcome the weakness. But first, you have to admit it first. You have to say, yes, you know what? I have a weakness in this. I need help in that. And once you know what you're weak at, then you'll be able to get the right help. Like I said earlier, you will start asking the right person. Another meeting. Another school. Fine, I'll keep trying. Yeah, I know, quit, yes. I called Simon again. He changed his number. I tracked him down and I said, please, mentor, give me one more shot, give me one more chance. And he said, maybe Toastmaster isn't for you. Have you thought of some other hobby like bird watching or something? Come on, mentor, I really want to give a speech. Really? All right. So he walked with me on my icebreaker. When I gave my icebreaker, I filled it with humor and comedy. Because comedy for me is something that comes easy. I like writing jokes, and I like making people laugh. And I won the best speaker that day. And every speech I gave after that was a humorous one. And I found out that I really have a talent for making people laugh. Capitalize on your strength. Find out what you are strong at, and that is your shortcut. That is your ticket to achieving what you want. Now, we're not perfect. Like I said earlier, we have weaknesses. And you can seek the right mentor. But also, find out what's your strength. And if you don't know what your strength is, ask those around you. Ask, what is the one thing that I do better than anybody? And sometimes the answers might surprise you. People might tell you things in you that you never thought that you actually had. And that strength, like I said, is your shortest distance to success. And I gave a speech after speech after speech. And my club president at the time came to me and he said, Mohammed, you're a very funny person, you're a very humorous speaker. And I mean, thank you. And he said, have you ever thought of doing the humor speech contest? I said, what's that? And that's when he started explaining to me the structure. Like, I didn't know there are areas and divisions. I thought we only have one club. And he said there's areas, divisions, districts, and there's a contest. You could be at the club level first, and if you win, you go to the area. You win. And I think you should do the humorous contest. I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. I wrote a speech. I won the club. And when I got, this is back in 2010, by the way. So I won the club, and when I got to the area, I got second place. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a bit of a sore loser. I don't handle losing very well. Could you hand me that glass, please? The empty one. Just give me an empty glass. Any empty glass today. So, as I said, I'm a sore loser. I cannot handle losing very well. And that day, I'm sitting in the back of the hall, just like this one, after the area contest was over. And I'm looking at my second place trophy. You know, the tiny one. And I'm just hating myself. My club president at the time, Mr. came to me and said, Mohammed, you did a fantastic job. Everybody loved your speech. I'm like, yeah, who cares? He said, what's wrong? Well, it's second place. So, dude, look at this. Look how tiny this is. I can't put this on my desk. It's embarrassing. And then he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, Mohammed, if what you're looking for is a trophy, a piece of glass, I'll go now and I'll buy you one. I'll buy you the biggest one in the market. Is this what you're after? Just a mere piece of glass. You see, ladies and gentlemen, in our lives, we chase a lot of things. Money, fame, power. But it shouldn't be what we chase. These are just keys. Keys that will open the door for you to do more for everybody else. When you achieve that fame, what are you going to do with it? When you achieve that power, what are you going to do with it? When you become a millionaire, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to make this world a better place? So it shouldn't be the materialistic thing that you chase. Muhammad kept asking me, he said, Muhammad, you have to have a higher goal. What do you want? What is your dream? I don't know. He said, no, what is your dream? Dude, I don't know. What is your dream? And I thought about it for a minute. And I said, well, my dream is one day I want to be on a stage speaking to 1,000 people. If I can be on a stage with 1,000 people in front of me, that's my dream. And he looked at me and smiled and he said, well, if this is really what you want, one day, I don't know when, one day, you'll make it to the world challenge. And you will speak to thousands. And then he grabbed a piece of paper and a pen, and he gave it to me, and he said, write your acceptance speech. It's a acceptance speech. He said, write the acceptance speech you're going to say when you win the world championship. I'm sorry, actually. Are you crazy? No way. He said, no. Because you write it, you believe it. And when you believe it, it will happen. You see, ladies and gentlemen, oftentimes we tell ourselves, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try to do that. When you say, I'm going to try, you're giving yourself an excuse. An excuse to quit when things get a bit difficult. Don't say, I'm going to try. Say, I'm going to get there one day. I don't know how yet, but I'll get there. Believe it first. A lot of people say, well, nobody helped me, nobody believed in me. Did you believe in yourself first? So people can believe in you. So I wrote a short acceptance speech. Keep in mind, this is 2010. And I kept it in my pocket. And I don't know if you guys do this, or if it's just me. Sometimes when, in the morning, while I'm in the shower, I grab the shampoo bottle and I pretend. And I give that feeling, I'm living my dream in my shower. I practice, okay, I'm going to say it that way, and so on. And every year after that, I kept on competing, and I kept on losing. But it's okay, because it's never the piece of glass. You see, Toastmasters gives you this chance. When you're speaking in the area, divisions, districts, every level, you get more and more people. More and more people will get to listen to you. More and more people will be touched by you. Their life will change by you. So take that chance every year. If you really are competing, do it. Not for the winning or losing, because this is a chance for the entire world to listen to you. 2013. For some reason, they elected me as the president of my club. I don't know why. And I noticed, ever since I became president, for some reason, people stopped coming to the club. And every meeting, the attendance is dwindling, shrinking. And I thought, okay, this club is really dying. So I went to my division director at the time, and I said, you know what? I don't think this club is going to make it. I think we should pull the plug. And he said, just give it one last shot. And if you really, really believe that this club cannot survive, fine, we'll close it. And then I remember one day in our club meeting, only 3 people showed up. Me and 2 others. Have you had that in your club before? But still, we carried out the meeting. Everybody did multiple roles. I gave a speech and evaluated myself at the same time. And then when the meeting was over, I was looking at that empty room. The room that used to be filled with people. There were times when we didn't even have enough seats. People were standing. Because that's how many people got in the club. And now, look at it. Nobody's showing up anymore. And you know what hurts more? This showed me that I failed as a club president. That I failed as a leader. Do you know that feeling when somebody shows you flaws? I hated it. And you know what? Perhaps this is the time to quit. I went back to my office and started writing an email to my deputy director. Hello, I'm Mohammed Qahtani, the president of the Toastmasters Club. As you already know, the club is struggling and I've tried so much to save it. I don't think there's a hope. I think it's time to let it die. And also, I would like to suspend my membership in Toastmasters. I hated Toastmasters at that time so much because it showed me that I'm not a good leader. It showed me my flaw. So I decided this is it. I'm not going to Toastmasters anymore. I finished writing the email. I swear to God, this would happen. I was about to hit send, my phone rang. And when I picked up, it was this lady. Her name is Mohammed. She was one of the other 2 people in that meeting. And I said, hello? And she said, Mohammed, whatever you're about to do, please don't do it. Are you here? And she said, no. I saw a look on your face. I knew you were about to do something drastic. Please don't do it. I said, Mom, you've seen the meeting. It's only 3 of us left. This is hopeless. She said, do you think this is the worst thing that ever happened to our club? I said, oh, I don't see it going any worse than this. That's what she said. Well, when you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. She said, if you think this is the worst, that means it's only going to get better from here. Please, don't be so dramatic. Don't do something drastic. I hang up the phone. I deleted the email. I picked up my phone again and started calling everybody. Could you come to our next meeting? I'll buy you coffee. I'll buy you cake. And then the next meeting we got 10 people. Then we got 12. We got 20. Then the club kept on growing slowly. Not because of me, by the way, because of the president who came after me. But it kept growing and growing, and to the point that we had to split it into 2 clubs. That club grew so much, came out of it 5 district champions, 3 district records, and, 1 world champion. But I always keep asking myself, what would have happened if I sent that email? What would happen if I didn't get that phone call? I probably won't be here talking to you today. I was blessed to have Mahal to stop me. But sometimes you don't need someone to jump in. It has to come from here first. Remember, if you think this is the worst, that means it's only going to get better from here. The year is 2014. I decided to do the international speech contest for the first time. And when it comes to speaking, I take it very seriously. So I go online and I'm searching all the past world champions. Jim Key, Dan LaCroix, Dan Smiller, Randy Hart, and I'm watching their speeches, and I'm learning, and I'm taking notes. And then I started writing, and I wrote the best speech ever. As soon as I'm done with it, I'm like, oh my God. This is so good. I can't believe this came out of me. It was a masterpiece. Have you ever had a masterpiece? Have you? Your best work ever. This was my masterpiece. And I thought, I cannot wait for the contest season to come. This is it. This is the speech that's going to take me all the way to the top. The contest season came. I won the club, I won the area, I get to the division, I get second place again. And I was crushed, not because I lost. Because again, I don't care about the physical anymore. I was crushed because this is my best work. And my best work still not good enough. Then perhaps, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to quit. What do you guys think?
No! Go for it. Go for it.
What do you mean go for it? This is my best and it's not good enough. That means I'm just a tiny little fish in an ocean. I could never make it. I'm sitting in the back of the room, and one of my Toastmaster friends, his name is Mohammed Qahtani, may he rest in peace, came to me and he said, Mohammed, I'm so proud of you, you did a fantastic job. I said, Najib, this is my best work. And it's still not good enough. You know that feeling? When you do your best, it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
Which means, I'm probably in the wrong place. I should really do the speaking thing. If my best will never be good enough. He said, Mohammed, when you think this is your best, that's when you stop dreaming. That's when you stop leveling yourself. That's when you stop improving who you are. Always tell yourself, and this is what he said to me, always tell yourself, your best is yet to come. No matter how good you do it, tell yourself, this is not my best.
This is not
I can do better.
I can do better.
Because that will give you an inspiration that, you know what, I can improve in the future. When people come to me and say, Mr. Qahtani, the power of words is an amazing speech, I say, wait. It's not my best. I got something. I don't know when, but I got something cooking. Always tell yourself, this is not your best work. You can always do better. There are no limits on what human can achieve. The year is 2015. I competed in both the humorous and the international and made it to the district for the very first time. I won the humorous that year, but came second in the international. But it's fine. You know, the second best speaker in the district. Not too shabby, right? 2 weeks before the finals were supposed to take place in Las Vegas in the United States, in the Toastmasters convention, I received a call from Abdullah Drake, who was our district champion that year. He called me and said, hey, Mohammed, this is Abdullah, do you know who I am? I said, what do you want? Do you have a visa to the United States? I said, yeah, why? Well, my dad is sick. And since I'm the oldest, I feel like I should be by his side. Okay. So I'm gonna drop out. And since you're second place, you take my spot. With only 2 weeks to prepare. And I have to have 2 speeches. I couldn't even win our district, and I'm going to compete against the winners from all over the world. I'm not going to go there and make a fool of myself. I said, can you give me time to think about it? And he's like, well, Toastmasters International needs an answer in 24 hours. I said, all right, I'll give you my answer in 24 hours. By sheer luck, on the same day was the meeting of my club. And I'm sitting in the back of the room, the conference room that we meet again. And I'm sitting in the back of the room, and I'm not paying attention. I'm thinking about that phone call. And at the end of the meeting, my club president at the time, Fatima Hussein, she came to me and said, Mohammed, are you okay? You seem out of place, bro. And I said, well, Fatima, and then I told her the whole story. The first place where I dropped out, they want me to go, but I don't think I can do it. I'm not ready. I don't even have a good speech. I need to. I think I'm gonna drop out too. She looked at me and said, Hamid, everybody in everybody's life, and this is true, by the way, for everybody here, in your life, some chances will come only once. And if you let it slip away, that chance may not come back again. And ladies and gentlemen, when that chance comes, you might think, I'm not ready. I'm not experienced enough. I don't have the finances. I don't even know how to do it. Guess what? And this is what she said to me. She said, Ahmed, say yes. We'll figure out later. Just say yes. But I'm not ready. Say yes. I don't have to speak. Say yes. Don't worry. We'll help you. And they did help me. And for 2 whole weeks, I'm speaking twice a day, in the morning and the evening, in different Toastmasters clubs. I'm writing and rewriting and changing, and everybody's giving me feedback and so on and so forth. And then the day came. And I flew to the convention in Las Vegas in 2015. My first convention ever. By the way, if you've never been to the convention, anybody that has been to the convention before? For those of you who haven't, please go. And those of you who have will tell you what an amazing experience it is. Because Toastmasters is a huge family. We've got brothers and sisters from all over the world. And I go there. 100 districts back then in 2015. 100 contestants. They do a draw. And each 10 contestants in a group. You give a speech, and only from each group, one person will advance to the finals. I was in group 3, as I remember. I gave my speech, and then they start announcing the winners, and the winner is, and they said my name. Oh my God. Really? Because I went there with no expectations. But now, I made it to the finals. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, when you get close to that material thing that you've been chasing, to that piece of glass, sometimes you may forget what was your purpose of the journey in the first place. Because it's here. It's close. I can smell it. Comes the day of the finals. They do another draw to determine the order of the speakers. I was speaker number 10. I was the last one. And for those of you who've been competing, it's good and bad at the same time. It's good because if you do well, people will remember the last speech. It's bad because you're coming up to 9 speakers. The audience is already tired, so you have to do something extraordinary. They take all of us 10 finalists in a room behind the stage. And there's a round table. And on the wall is a giant flat screen TV where you get to see whoever is on stage. And we're sitting around that table and we're all nervous and everybody's wishing, I wish you good luck. The first speaker gets mic'd up and he goes on stage and I'm watching him on that screen and I'm thinking, oh my God. This guy's fantastic. Have you seen that speech that's so good? This guy checks all the boxes. The message, the poise, the voice, the stage movement, everything was perfect. And I'm thinking, all right, me maybe second place. The second speaker comes in, he does even better. Okay? Maybe third place. And every speaker who took the stage that day was phenomenal. I know, as Toastmasters, you often watch the world champion speech. And a lot of you might not have seen all the other speakers. I invite you, if you get a chance, watch those other speakers. Nobody makes it that high until you're really, really fantastic. And when I saw these fantastic speakers ahead of me, that's when I said, okay, listen, Mohammed, there's no way you're going to win today. So let's take a step back. And let's think about what was the true purpose of you being here. You have a message that you believe in. You have an audience waiting. Let's give them that message and go. Now it's my turn. They put the mic on me. And as you walk into the stage from behind, there's a lady who would open the curtain for you. I'm standing there and I'm nervous. And I asked, how many people in the audience today? And she said, 4,000 people. My dream was to speak to 1,000. Now I got 4 times as much. How many of you here have seen the power of words online? Raise your hand here. I invite you there tonight if you can. Go back and watch it again. This time, see what happens before I even spoke. What happened when I walked on stage. I walked into that stage and the light hit me and I saw the vast room filled with people. And I stood there and I smiled. Because I realized my dream just came true. Winning or losing really doesn't matter. I gave that speech, I put a cigarette in my mouth, and the rest you all remember. I finished. The crowd was cheering. I was so good by myself, but still convinced I'm not going to win. And then they started announcing the winners. And all 10 contestants are lined up in the first line. And everybody's nervous. Except me. I'm playing Candy Crush on my phone. Because again, I'm not going to win, right? Third place winner, second place winner, and now the world champion of public speaking in 2015, Mohammed Qahtani. I didn't even hear the guy because I was busy playing. Until someone behind me punched my back. Dude, it's you. What? Go. Where? I said, what? Why? You won? Really? And I walked into that stage like a crazy person. And they gave me that trophy. They gave me that big, giant piece of glass. The contest chair that day, after we took photos, he said, would you like to say a few words? And as I walked to that podium, I remember the acceptance speech I wrote 5 years prior. The speech that I rehearsed in the shower so many times. And I gave the exact same speech. I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you ask people who knew me as a child that one day I'll be here, everybody will say, no way. I couldn't speak. In fact, to this day, I still have a bit of a stutter. This is not a brag. I'm just saying, if this tells you anything, it tells you that the impossible does not exist. Think about those who hopes and dreams and goals that you had when you were young and somebody killed by saying, you can't do it. You don't have the money. You're not tall enough. You're not qualified enough, or so on. And tell yourself, if this guy can win this trophy, then you probably can do whatever you put your mind into. They took me backstage, and as soon as I went backstage, there were TV channels and news reporters, and there were cameras in my face, and people, and it took you much, like imagine, over one day, you go from a nobody to somebody the entire world knows. They're clicking pictures of me, and they kept asking me the same question, Mr. Qahtani, what's next? I don't know. Because really, I don't know. I never thought this through. And I didn't have a plan. Because again, I didn't think I even got to win. The interviews are over. They walked me into a hall as big as this one. And in front, they had a banner. And in front of the banner, the previous world champions stood up. And they took me in between.
Wow.
And we clicked this photo. You know, thank you. You know the people I used to watch on YouTube and study and idealize. And now they're just, colleagues.
Nice.
And in front of that banner, the 4,000 people who watched me speak, they all came lined up just to take a picture with me or have me sign an autograph. Boy, I felt like $1 million. And when fame takes you like this, all of a sudden, sometimes it could be dangerous. I had a moment of thought though. When we were taking that photo, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not a trainer. I'm not a speaker. I've never actually spoken outside of Toastmasters. I've never given any keynotes or training or even presentations. I've never given a speech more than 5 minutes. But now, the expectations are high. People think, oh, world champion, whatever. But also, did you know, or did you hear the saying that says, it's good to quit when you're at the top? Well, this is the top. So maybe this is the time to quit.
No.
What do you guys think?
No.
But I got nothing. I got nothing. True, but also in my mind I thought, you know what? Let me at least enjoy this moment. So this line of people came up, one by one, signing autographs, taking pictures, and thinking about, how beautiful fame is, And I've been standing in that line for about an hour. And then a lady walked to me. She's probably in her 40s or 50s. And I can see there were tears in her eyes. And when she came to me, she held my hand. She said, son, I don't want a photo. I don't want an autograph. I stood in this line for an hour just to tell you this. What you said on that stage will make me a better person. I'll be a better person. She said, I'll be a better person just because of something that you said. I had to come here and say, thank you. And then she vanished into the crowd. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to say now might be a bit cliche or a bit hard to believe. But right there at that moment, the trophy meant nothing. The title meant nothing. The fame meant nothing. All of it meant nothing to me. Because now I have the answer to the question, what's next? What's next for me, ladies and gentlemen, is I want in 5, 10, or 20 years from now, I want to be sitting home, watching TV, flipping through the channels. And while flipping through the channels, I see an interview with a successful person, an influential person, a person who made a positive change in their lives and in their community. Hopefully, this person is one of you. And they would ask that person, so tell us, how did it all begin? What was the first spark? And when I hear that person say, well, years and years ago, I listened to a guy, Mohammed something, and he changed it. One person. If you can't change the life of one person, and that person changes the life of another, and that person changes the life, that means this world that you are in is much better because of you. You know, we're not perfect. We have flaws. I'm sure I have mine. Those of you who knew me for a while might actually attest to that. But you have a chance to make this world a better place. So let me ask you again. Why did you join this organization? Some of you might have joined this organization to be better speakers. Finish your path, the speech mastery, whatever. Get that little piece of paper. Now you know the tricks of trade of how to speak. And then you leave Toastmasters. And it's sad. I've seen it happen. Some of you might have joined just to be better leaders. You become a club president or a director, whatever. And you get a piece of paper that says that you completed your path, you show it to your boss is impressed, now you're getting that promotion that you've been waiting for, and then you leave Toastmasters. It's sad. I see it happen. Some of you might have joined this organization to network, to make friends. I know people who got married from Toastmasters, by the way.
Yes, it's true.
And then, after a while, you leave this organization. It's sad. I've seen it happen. Some of you might have just joined to a contest. You want to be an area champion, a division champion, a district champion, a world champion, and then you get that giant piece of glass. And then you leave. It's sad. I've seen it happen. Sometimes people come to me and say, so Qahtani, you are an inspiration to the world. And I think, inspiration? Why? Just a guy who just gave a 5-minute speech and got lucky. How many DTMs here in the room? If you are a DTM, please stand up. If you are a DTM, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what DTM means? Distinguished Toastmasters. It means you've done everything speaking-wise, and you've done everything leadership-wise. You've done it all. Go home. Why are you still here? Go home. But I'll tell you why those people don't go home. Because those people don't think what's in it for me. They think what's in it for us. They've been in this organization for a very long time, and I'm sure you got everything out of it. then why do you still show up? Because you want to help everybody else. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for an inspiration, the inspiration is never the speaker on the stage. The inspiration is standing right now. Please give your applause right there. You know, I would never be the person I am today if it wasn't for those people. If you can see, thank you. If you can see from the story, I was ready to quit at every corner. But they kept me going. And you know what the sad thing is? Even them, they're not Toastmasters anymore. Yeah, it's sad. It happens. Next year, some of you are not gonna be here. But I want to ask you for a favor. If you decided to leave, which you can, before you do, bring at least 2 or 3 people in. You know how this organization helps you. You know how it made you a better person. Don't be selfish, don't contain it in. At least, before you leave, bring the 2 people in. It's a spread. Because, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to die one day. We're all going to leave this earth. Ask yourself, did you leave it a better place? And if the answer is no, then I'm sorry. You're just a number. You're just a statistic. When that day comes, and people hear that you passed away, there will be 3 types of responses. People might say, "Ah, thank God he's dead. It's about time." Or they might say, "Huh, all right." Or they might say, "What? Oh no." Are you going to get an "oh no"? I really hope that you do. Thank you so much for listening.